A shift in the spiritual realm is imminent, and only the spiritually awakened will discern and respond correctly before it manifests. This shift will not be seen with the natural eye, nor detected by human intellect. It will not be broadcast through news networks, nor will it trend on social platforms. Yet it will be more real than anything this world has ever experienced. Those who are asleep will miss it. Those distracted by noise and novelty will remain blind to it. But those who have trained their spirit to listen, to watch, and to discern will move with it, because they were made for such a time as this. This is not a casual moment in time. Heaven is moving. The atmosphere is being stirred. Old orders are being dismantled and new mantles are being released. This is the kind of shift that rewrites destinies and reassigns positions. This is the moment where those who have been sitting on the sidelines of spiritual purpose will either rise with obedience or fall into obscurity. There is no middle ground in this season. To remain lukewarm is to be left behind. To ignore the divine nudge is to forfeit the very reason you were born. The shaking in the earth is simply a reflection of the shaking in the spirit. Systems are crumbling, values are being redefined, foundations are being tested. But this is not chaos, it is calibration. God is repositioning His people. He is sounding the alarm for those who have ears to hear. This is not about religion or routine, it's about revelation. It's about radical obedience to a voice that transcends human understanding. It's about tuning into the frequency of heaven and refusing to be swayed by earthly fear or compromise. Those who are spiritually awakened in this hour are not driven by headlines, they are guided by heaven's whispers. They do not seek affirmation from the crowd, they move with the cloud. They are not seduced by popularity, they are consumed with purpose. These are the ones who understand that delay is not denial, that silence is not absence, and that waiting is not wasted. They've been hidden for a reason, because revelation requires incubation, power requires process, and destiny requires discipline. This coming shift will separate the wheat from the tares, the authentic from the artificial, and the pure from the polluted. It will expose hearts and reveal motives. It will elevate the humble and humble the elevated. This is the hour where the last will become first, not because of ambition, but because of alignment. God is searching the earth for those who will say yes, not just with their lips, but with their lie. For those who have been purified in the fire, broken on the altar, and refined in the crushing, your time is now. The spiritually awakened don't need external signs to believe. They move by faith, not by sight. They've learned that the greatest miracles often come wrapped in mystery, that the greatest assignments often come through adversity, and that the greatest power is often birthed through pressure. While others complain about what is shifting, the awakened rejoice because they understand that God only shakes what is not built on Him. Everything that can be shaken will be shaken, but what is rooted in truth will stand. This is the hour where discernment will be your greatest weapon. Not charisma, not charm, not connections. Discernment, the ability to distinguish between what sounds good and what is God, between what is urgent and what is eternal, between what is convenient and what is consecrated. The enemy is unleashing confusion, distraction, and deception. But those who are spiritually alert will not be moved. Thing you do. They have oil in their lamps, fire in their bones, and a sword in their mouth. They do not waver in storms. They speak to them. Spiritual awakening is not emotionalism. It is not a performance. It is the quiet, unwavering awareness that God is doing something deeper, something greater, something eternal, and you must be in position to receive it. It is waking up every day and choosing obedience over comfort, purity over compromise, and presence over popularity. It is understanding that you don't need to be understood by everyone. You just need to be in alignment with the one who called you. Many are feeling restless, uneasy, like something is coming, but they can't fully explain it. That's not anxiety, that's awakening. That's the Spirit sensing the shift before it arrives. God always warns before He moves. He always whispers before He shakes. And to those who are listening, He is saying, prepare, position, press in. Because what's coming will not look like what has been. The old methods will not work in this new move. The old wineskins will not carry this new wine. You must be transformed by the renewing of your mind, or you will miss what He is doing. There will be sudden shifts, divine interruptions, strategic realignments. People who seem to be central in your life will be removed. Opportunities you thought were essential will be closed. Doors you were pursuing will be locked, not as punishment, but as protection. Because where God is taking you, you cannot carry what once was. He is pruning you not to hurt you, but to free you. He is stripping you not to, He is rerouting you because He sees the end from the beginning. To be spiritually awakened in this hour is to be completely surrendered, not just in theory, but in truth. It means you've laid down your timeline, your plans, your reputation, your expectations, and you've picked up the cross. It means you've chosen to walk the narrow path, even when it costs you friends, opportunities, and applause. It means you've decided that obedience is more valuable than acceptance, that holiness is more precious than hype, that intimacy with God is more important than influence with man. The spiritually awakened carry weight, not the weight of burdens, but the weight of glory. They are not swayed by every wind of doctrine. They are rooted in truth, grounded in the Word, and filled with the Spirit. They don't chase signs, they manifest them. They don't beg for power, they carry, because they've been with God. They've been in the secret place. They've been broken and rebuilt by the hand of the potter. And now, when the shift comes, they will rise, not in pride, but in purpose. If you're hearing this, it's because you are one of them. You felt different, set apart, misunderstood. That's not rejection, that's refinement. God has been preparing you for this moment. You were not meant to be like everyone else. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to shine, to speak, to stand. And the shift is your signal. It is the evidence that everything you went through had purpose, that the waiting wasn't wasted, that the pain had a promise. This shift will require courage. The courage to walk away from what is familiar, the courage to speak truth in a world addicted to lies, the courage to build what no one else understands, the courage to wait when everyone else is running, the courage to move when everyone else is stagnant. Because the spiritually awakened are not called to follow trends, they are called to birth transformation. They are not meant to echo the world, they are called to establish. The days of compromise are over. The era of entertainment in the church is ending. The time for shallow spirituality is expiring. God is raising up deep wells. People who carry presence, not performance. People who live consecrated, not comfortable. People who walk in power, not pretense. And if you feel the stirring, if you feel the urgency, if your spirit cannot rest, it's because you are part of this remnant. You are part of this move. You are not random. You are required. So what do you do now? You watch. You pray. You purify. You position. You stop playing games with your calling. You stop entertaining things that drain your spirit. You stop giving your energy to distractions, and you press in like never before. Because heaven is watching. The earth is groaning. And the shift is about to manifest. The question is not, will it happen? The question is, will you be ready? Don't miss it. Don't get distracted. Don't fall asleep. This is the moment the prophets of old longed to see. This is the hour that was spoken of in secret places. And you are here for it. You were born for it. You were chosen for it. The shift is imminent. The signs are clear. The call is sounding. Wake up. Rise up and move when God moves. Because when the spiritual realm shifts, those who are ready will inherit what was promised, And those who are not will be left watching from a distance. Let it not be said that you were near the fire but never carried it. Let it be said that when the heavens opened, you were ready, willing, and walking in alignment with the King. The shift is here. Let those with eyes see, let those with discernment move. God is raising chosen vessels in this generation who have been hidden, refined, and prepared through adversity for a divine assignment. These are not the loudest voices, the most visible influencers, or those with the most decorated platforms. They are the ones who were passed over, misunderstood, rejected, and often forgotten. But heaven never forgot. Heaven has been watching, molding, and shaping them in silence. They are the ones who didn't look qualified on the outside, but inside carried a depth that only divine fire could produce. They were forged in the quiet places, away from the noise, away from the crowds, and away from the applause. Their training didn't happen on stages, it happened in storms. While others were being celebrated, they were being crushed. While others were building followings, they were learning faith. While others were networking, they were kneeling. And though the world couldn't see it, God was writing their story with fire. He was carving character into their soul. He was breaking pride, burning away ego, and planting seeds of unshakable purpose. Every tear, every betrayal, every season of silence was divine preparation. Not one moment was wasted. These chosen vessels know what it means to be empty. They've walked through loss, disappointment, and deep soul wrestling. But instead of growing bitter, they became better. Instead of cursing the process, they submitted to it. They surrendered their will for God's way, their comfort for His calling, and that surrender has now positioned them for a divine unveiling. Because when God raises someone, no man can stop it. No gate of hell can block it. No lie can reverse it. You must understand, the adversity you faced wasn't random. It was part of a divine curriculum. God was preparing you not for popularity, but for purpose. Not for comfort, but for commission. Not for entertainment, but for eternal impact. Your story, though painful, carries power. Your scars are not shameful. They are sacred. They are the proof that God kept you when everything tried to break you. And now that same power that preserved you is going to be released through you. There is a spiritual urgency in the atmosphere. Heaven is mobilizing its soldiers, not with swords, but with truth, not with fear, but with fire, not with noise, but with anointing. These vessels are not motivated by money or recognition. They are moved by obedience. They are lovers of truth, seekers of presence, carriers of glory. They don't move with the crowd, they move with the cloud. They don't wait for approval, they follow divine instruction. Because they know who sent them, they know who kept them, they know why they're still standing. You see, chosen vessels are not made in public. They are revealed in public, but made in private. They are carved in the hidden place. The battles they fought, most people will never know. The nights they cried, the prayers they prayed, the temptations they resisted, the sacrifices they made, those were all part of the process. And that process gave them something that cannot be imitated. Authority. True spiritual authority doesn't come from titles, it comes from triumph. It doesn't come from charisma, it comes from crushing. And the ones God is raising now have been through the crushing. That's why they carry oil. This is not about building a brand. This is about building the kingdom. This is not about getting likes. This is about getting lives changed. These vessels are not interested in pleasing the algorithm. They are committed to pleasing the Almighty. And because they refuse to bow to culture, God is exalting them in the kingdom. He is giving them a platform not built by man, but built by Him. A voice not conditioned by compromise, but by consecration. A reach not dependent on connections, but on covenant. They are the remnants. The ones who didn't quit when it got hard. The ones who stayed faithful when it felt fruitless. The ones who prayed when no one was listening. Worshiped when no one was watching. and gave when no one was applauding. God is raising them because they passed the test. Not the test of popularity, but the test of purity. Not the test of hype, but the test of holiness. These are the ones he can trust. They no longer live for themselves. They live to reveal him. God's not interested in raising entertainers. He's interested in raising deliverers. People who carry his heart. People who echo his voice. People who burn with his fire. And if you're reading this and it feels like your life has been one long season of waiting, breaking, and becoming, it's because you're one of them. You've been hidden for a reason. God didn't forget you. He was preparing you. You weren't delayed, you were developed. Because what's coming requires depth, and shallow vessels can't carry deep glory. This is a season of divine unveiling, a time where those who have been faithful in obscurity will now be revealed in authority. But it will not be for ego. It will be for impact. It will not be for show. It will be for souls. It will not be for applause. It will be for alignment. And the ones God is using will not touch the glory. They will not boast in themselves. They will know it was all grace, all mercy, all him. Do not be surprised when people you've never heard of begin to rise with supernatural influence. Do not be shocked when voices come from the wilderness with clarity, conviction, and power. God is not choosing based on man's resume. He's choosing based on heaven's report. He's anointing those who said yes in the dark. Those who obeyed when it didn't make sense. Those who carried crosses when others chased crowns. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are not disqualified. If anything, you are being refined. You are being tested not to destroy you, but to distinguish you. And in the fire, God is removing what cannot go with you. He's cutting off distractions, exposing idols, correcting motives, and aligning your heart. Because this assignment is holy. And holy things require holy vessels. Not perfect, but pure. Not flawless, but faithful. When the time comes, you will not need to force anything. The doors will open by divine order. The opportunities will align with divine timing. The favor will not be manufactured. It will be a manifestation of the oil you carry. And people will ask, where did you come from? But they won't realize you came from the fire. You came from the cave. You came from the crucible of obedience. And you didn't come to play. You came to proclaim. God is calling for those who will build altars, not just platforms. Those who will carry burdens, not just blessings. Those who will fast and pray, not just pose and perform. This generation doesn't need more celebrities. It needs more intercessors. It doesn't need more fame. It needs more fire. And that fire is being kindled in the secret place. That fire is being birthed in the hearts of those who refuse to settle for normal, for casual, for compromised Christianity. Small. You are part of a remnant rising, a generation marked by glory, a people set apart for such a time as this. And though you may have been weeping in the night, your joy is coming in the morning. Though you've been waiting, the wait was not in vain. Though you've been crushed, the oil is ready. And when God says it's time, no demon, no delay, no door can stop it. Stay in position. Stay on the altar. Keep your heart clean. Keep your hands lifted. Keep your ear tuned. Because God is about to release you. And when He does, you will move with power, precision, and purpose. You will speak with authority. You will love with depth. You will heal with compassion. You will lead with integrity. And your life will not point to you. It will point to Him. This is what the refining was for. This is what the wilderness was about. This is why the warfare was so intense, because the assignment is so great, and the vessel must be ready. The weight of what's coming cannot be carried by casual believers. It requires consecrated vessels. It requires mature minds. It requires warriors who know how to war in silence and win in secret. You have not been disqualified. You have been distinguished, set apart, handpicked, chosen. And now the time is near. The trumpet is sounding. The heavens are shifting. And the world is about to see what God can do with a life fully surrendered. So don't quit now, don't let go now, don't lose faith now. Everything is about to make sense. The pain will make sense, the waiting will make sense, the isolation will make sense. Because when God unveils you, when He releases you, when He breathes on you, you will see that it was all for this. You were hidden for a holy reason. God is raising chosen vessels in this generation. And you are one of them. The time is now. The hour is here. The mantle is falling. The mission is clear. Arise, shine, and let the glory of the Lord be revealed through you. For April 2025, those who have been silent, overlooked, or broken will rise with clarity, boldness, and kingdom authority to impact nations. This is not a vague spiritual promise. It is a divine prophecy unfolding in real time. A shift is happening in the unseen realm, a stirring beneath the surface. Stirring heaven is activating those who have been in long seasons of hidden preparation, long seasons of pain, long seasons of silence, and long seasons where they questioned their purpose and wondered if their suffering was ever going to bear fruit. These are the ones the world discounted, ignored, dismissed, the ones who were passed over for platforms, denied the opportunities they prayed for, and looked at as too broken to be used by God. But what men saw as brokenness, God saw as birthing. What men saw as disqualification, heaven saw as the making of a warrior. They weren't being punished, they were being positioned. They weren't being delayed, they were being developed. And now, in this prophetic window leading up to April 8th, 2025, heaven is calling them forth. Something divine is being orchestrated behind the veil. In the months leading up to that date, expect spiritual clarity to sharpen in the hearts of those who have been wandering in confusion. The fog is lifting. The voices that once drowned out their calling are being silenced. The wounds that kept reopening are now being healed. Because when God chooses to raise a voice to speak to nations, He first takes that voice through a wilderness that trains the spirit, disciplines the tongue, and cleanses the motives. And those who have endured this sacred silence are now coming out not weak, but bold, not arrogant, but aligned. These vessels have known what it feels like to be misunderstood. They've endured betrayal from the closest circles. They've been accused of being too sensitive, too intense, too deep. But their depth was never a flaw. It was their design. It was heaven's fingerprint on their spirit. While the world mocked their sensitivity, God was refining their discernment. While people called them dramatic, God was cultivating spiritual perception. Now, that same depth that made them different is about to be the very thing that makes them dangerous to darkness. Before April 2025, expect the tables to turn. Those who were last will be pushed to the front, not for their own glory, but because they carry something the world desperately needs. They carry the raw truth of God without delusion. They carry the voice of heaven, uncluttered by ego and unfiltered by fear. These are not voices for entertainment. They are messengers of transformation. They speak not to impress, but to ignite. They don't care about applause. They are driven by assignment. And when they rise, they won't sound like the familiar. They won't echo the culture. They won't blend into the background noise of social media spirituality. They will speak with weight, with fire, and with unwavering truth. Their lives will not just talk, they will testify. The brokenness they've endured will become the oil that drips from their words. Every scar will validate the message. Every tear will carry anointing. Every rejection will now serve as the platform on which God places them. They are not coming forth with pride. They are emerging with power. And this power doesn't come from credentials or connections. It comes from consecration. These are the ones who sacrifice comfort for character, popularity for purity, convenience for covenant. They stayed hidden, not because they lacked ability, but because God was building in them a foundation deep enough to carry the weight of global impact. They've been through internal wars. Wars against doubt, fear, loneliness, and confusion. But they didn't die there. They prayed when no one encouraged them. They fasted when their bodies were weak. They stood when everyone else bowed, and now their reward is not earthly validation, it's divine authority. Heaven is backing them. The Spirit of God is speaking through them. The timing of their emergence has been orchestrated down to the second. You see, when God raises someone, there is no human system that can block them. When God breathes on someone, there is no platform or algorithm that can silence them. The world will try to figure out where they came from, but they came from the cave, from the dark place of transformation, from the garden of agony where they wrestled with God and chose surrender, from the pit of despair where they encountered purpose. They are not sudden stars, they are seasoned soldiers. As April 8, 2025 approaches, we are entering into a kairos moment, a divine window where heaven's agenda will intersect history in a visible way. It will be a season of reversals, of repositioning, and of divine realignment. The hidden will be revealed. The first will be last. The religious will be humbled. The hungry will be filled. And those who have been in the background, interceding, weeping, waiting, will now be called forward, not because they chased a calling, but because they carried it faithfully. Nations will be impacted, not by strategies, but by surrendered lives, not by impressive branding, but by broken vessels, because the power of God will rest on the ones who died to themselves, on the ones who loved holiness more than hype, on the ones who said yes when it hurt. These are the ones God is raising up, not because they are perfect, but because they are yielded. They are not trying to be seen. They are desperate to reveal Him. They are coming with fire in their eyes and truth in their mouth. They are coming to wake up the church, to confront deception, to destroy compromise. They will not be liked by everyone, but they will be feared by hell. They will not be politically correct, but they will be prophetically accurate. They are not trying to fit in. They were born to stand out. And you, yes, you, if your heart burns while you hear this, if your spirit feels stirred even now, it is not an accident. You are one of them. You are part of the remnant. You may feel broken, but you are chosen. You may feel tired, but you are anointed. You may feel unseen, but God sees you. And your time is coming. Don't count yourself out because of your past. Don't disqualify yourself because of your failures. God uses the broken to reveal His beauty. He uses the weak to showcase His strength. He uses the foolish to confound the wise. Every moment you've spent in prayer, every time you forgave when you could have retaliated, every time you chose purity when no one was watching, it mattered. Heaven recorded it. And it is all being poured into your purpose. You were not forgotten. You were being formed. And soon the world will see what heaven has already known, that you were called, appointed, and anointed for such a time as this. Calendar may read just another year, but in the spirit realm, this window leading up to April 8th, 2025 is sacred. This is the moment of the unveiling. This is when mantles will be released. This is when messages that have been incubating in obscurity will finally be declared with boldness and reach multitudes. This is when the enemy's attempts to silence you will fail, and your voice will carry kingdom weight. Don't fear the opposition. When you rise with God's fire, resistance is proof you're on the right path. Don't seek validation, seek obedience. Don't crave recognition, crave revelation, because when your life is aligned with heaven, impact becomes inevitable. You were born to shift atmospheres. You were created to carry revival. You were destined to release kingdom solutions in the middle of chaos. You were born to lead, not follow, to pioneer, not conform. This is your moment. This is your season. And though the world may still see you as ordinary, heaven knows you are marked. So keep seeking, keep pressing, keep refining your ear to His voice, because when the call comes, and it will, you won't have time to get ready. You must be ready. The oil must already be in your lamp. The fire must already be burning in your bones. For 8th in 2025, the rise of the remnant will not be a whisper, it will be a roar. A divine awakening is coming. And the ones God is using are those who dare to believe in silence, who worshiped in pain, and who stayed faithful in obscurity. They are not coming with gimmicks, they are coming with glory. They are not coming for attention, they are coming with assignment. So lift your head, wipe your tears, stand in confidence, not in yourself, but in the God who called you. This is your hour. The shaking was necessary, the pain was preparation, the breaking was birth. And now as the heavens align and the nations tremble, God is saying, come forth. Let the world watch. Let the skeptics doubt. Let the proud laugh. But when you rise, let them see the evidence of a life set apart for the glory of God. And as you rise, remember this: you are not rising alone. All across the globe, others like you are being awakened. The scattered stones are coming together. The isolated are finding their voice. The silenced are becoming sound. This is the hour of convergence, the moment when every broken piece comes together to form a powerful picture of redemption. Let the boldness rise. Let the fire fall. Let the remnant roar. Because before April 8, 2025, everything changes.